All right, hello everyone. This is Adrian Fahrenheit Tepes, your alucard, and you can go find my channel on the link which I will give to you in my description. This new live stream is talking about Fallout, a little bit of a debriefing on the Fallout game and what it means to complete the original Fallout. Now, the amazing thing about the original Fallout is it's the most horror toned of the entire series. This is the version that goes by the formula for a horror film the most. You have a villain in the background, and you go through event after event until you finally see that villain that has either been concealed because he's hidden away in the shadows, or in the case of say the Terminator, the villain had a disguise the entire time, and only after all the disguise was gone do you see what the Terminator truly looked like. In the case of Fallout, it goes with the former, similar to movies such as Alien or whatnot, where the villain's mostly hidden away from your view, but you gradually come to see that villain bit by bit as you see more details of what he is doing and what he is ordering done. Right on time, Albeleo. Congratulations.
I hate doing this,
It's
but hey, I made it.
you are a guest here because you're one of the newest people to become a Fallout veteran, completing the original Fallout game. So I wasn't doing much more than talking about the original Fallout game and how it is the most horror themed of the games in the series. With the master and how he's concealed most of the time, and similar to a horror killer, you get him revealed bit by bit until you finally see him in person. But I just want to say congratulations, you were one of the newest people to complete the original Fallout.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely an interesting journey compared to what I thought Fallout was.
Yeah, I mean it's I didn't really get to play the kind of top-down turn-based games that you get with Fallout until. And by the way, this is also an interplay game, and I'll recommend it in a later episode of ours. Uh,
Okay.
Baldur's Gate, and I played it due to it being on GOG.com. So I played the first Baldur's Gate. So
Uh-huh.
before I ever played Fallout, and thanks to GOG, I actually got to play the original first two. I haven't finished the second one yet, but if I ever go back to Fallout 2, believe I know exactly what to do to finish it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And these are our recent attractions. So I had our collection of what we predicted about Nintendo Switch 2 and your recent one review of Venom 3, The Last Dance, or Venom Last Dance, anyways.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a rough one.
So the good news is I've planned at least generally what is going to live stream when through most of this year, which is going to be
Okay.
fun. I just need to make the presentations for
Hmm.
them.
Gotcha. Cool. And I did see a bunch of things did pop up for later when they do come up. So you've been on top. You've been on the ball there.
Yeah, I decided to just get the general schedule there and then take care of the rest of the details later.
Hmm.
But how's StreamYard working for you? It's working pretty well so far.
Yeah, very simple. I do wish there were a couple options I had that it doesn't quite offer in the free version, but that's okay. It's more than sufficient, I think.
As we are right now, this can be up to 4 guests, so that's plenty.
Hmm.
I mean, subscription is up to 10, but so far it's pretty well. I recommend StreamYard. It got me going. It's how I met some of you who are thankfully as members of my channels, really contributing. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So, let's talk about our favorite parts of the game now that we've both completed the original. What was perhaps your favorite encounter in the game?
There, there's actually a few more things on retrospect that I thought I enjoyed a bit more. Uh, the difficulty for one, because this is old school serious RPG. Things can definitely go sideways the moment you start playing the game, basically.
Yeah, they can. I mean, it's brutal. I mean, my first one of these games that I really played was actually, Baldur's Gate years after the fact. But that one can be pretty brutal too. I mean, it uses the obviously the D&D dice rolling system
Mhm.
in the game, and top down. You can do turn based, but it can be, the earlier parts of the game where you have very few HP and a limited number of times you can cast a spell per day. Your character can be easily killed off with 1 or 2 hits in the early parts of the game when you're only like level 1 and level 2.
Oh yeah. The first time I actually I did get the game, which was years ago, I just never went back to play it.
Oh,
The first time I actually ended up getting a hold of the game, I got killed in like one random encounter with the rad scorpions. I was like, well, shit. Like
yeah,
this requires a whole different mentality, and I'm just not ready for this game yet. And so I was going
yeah,
through other things at the time.
yeah.
And
I mean,
so
yeah,
yeah.
it's okay. I mean, I didn't die as quickly as I thought the first time because I had previously played Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate, which is funny enough, it's also published by Interplay. The first one is just like Fallout, same publisher. Um, so Baldur's Gate prepared me somewhat for what Fallout would give me. But I
Mhm,
just remember, just when I walked into, well, Shady Sands, and then I walked into Junktown. I mean, I know that's really old claymation, but for Aradesh or for Killian Darkwater, when they first, give you their voice acting, it's great. For back in the late '90s, it's great. I mean,
mhm.
the expression, as uncanny as it is with the claymation, it's there. And either way, with Killian, it's like, don't do anything wrong. Stay on my good side, and you'll be just fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Killian, because I don't know, I haven't memorized all the characters. Killian's the one that runs not the hub, but the town north of it, right?
Junktown.
Junktown? Yeah,
Junktown. He's in Junktown. He has his store, and he will
that's right,
kill you if
that's
you
right.
try to steal one of his things. He's like,
Gotcha.
I made a mistake. No, you got stupid. Then he pulls out a shotgun and he kills you right there.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've played like an actual like sit down old school styled RPG like this, and I never played the Baldur's Gate games. I did play 3 for a short time, like an hour before I refunded it because I wouldn't have had the time or
Oh yeah,
ability to play it. And
I I wasted a lot of time in my younger years when I was like 12 playing. So you know how Games Workshop does Warhammer 40
yeah,
at
yeah,
40K. So Games Workshop also did another adventure dungeon crawler. I kept thinking dungeon scrolling. No, it's not scrolling. It's crawling board game with 3D figures called Hero Quest, and I wasted some hours with my friends over the weekend in high school. You think all the things you think a stupid teenager do. We wasted our weekend, Friday and Saturday, playing through 8 missions with my friend Steve being the dungeon master essentially
mhm.
in that game. We played through almost all the 14 quests of the original Hero Quest. But yeah, it's another thing that I wish would get a remake from Games Workshop. It's an adventure game but it has the dice, it has the 3D figures you should paint like Warhammer does. But it was fun doing it. I mean, if there was and I believe and I do still play it with the mobile phone game called Arcane Quest, which is a pretty much a spiritual successor to that. But I don't have to waste a huge amount of time per sitting with Arcane Quest. I can save it at a turn in the game, go back to finish that mission later. But it has the same dice rolling that Hero Quest had.
Yeah, they also did Talisman, which I happened to bump into a little bit ago. My lady and I were out looking for uh birthday presents or
Yeah,
Christmas presents for people because I wanted to get that done early for the holidays, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
had the first iteration of Talisman at the store, and it said Games Workshop, and I was like, hey, honey, look.
Oh, yeah, we have a new games. Well, it's not officially Games Workshop; it's a hobby store, but they do sell both. They do sell Games Workshop games as part of the thing. I'm going to check them out and see if they have like a replacement pieces because I still have my old Hero Quest box with the figures in it.
Nice.
I've just stored it in my in my box to keep it going. Maybe I'll play with my kids one day, but I still have it, and I think I need to get some replacement pieces. So I'll check out the store that sells Games Workshop parts, see if they got replacements.
Neat.
But yeah, my plan is I'm going to get for my children. I'm going to get Mario Party because on they have it on sale at Gamers Heaven, which is our local games retro game store. So I'm going to get that for them.
Mhm.
That and the Nintendo Wii microphone for the speaking parts of Mario Party.
Oh, they'll have a blast with it.
Oh, I know they will. They've been watching YouTube videos, and I just told like John, why watch YouTube videos of it when you can actually play it? Really? Why watch it when you can actually play it?
Mm-hmm.
Favorite parts. Now, here's our big scavenger hunt part, and we're going to work together on this. And how many states have been used in Fallout? So I have the spreadsheet, which I'm going to change the view over to that one, and we're going to
Okay.
check off the states which have been used. So I'm going to share screen. There. There we go. So we both have our browsers. We're going to look up the Fallout games and locations
Mm-hmm.
and see what's covered. It's going to be easy for Fallout 1 through Tactics because I've looked up. They don't have that many locations in them, so we can cross off a few. So we know where Fallout 1 is, right?
Oh yeah, it's in Southwest California.
So we'll cut. That's easy. Let's put a Y on California. There we go. Now Fallout 2, that one has Oregon, so we can get Oregon here. I put it in alphabetical order, dang it. So Oregon, Y. Now we're going to go to Fallout 3, and we're going to try to look up the locations. Fallout 3 gets a little more complicated because of the DLCs. Go to other locations besides Washington, D.C. So,
Okay. Well, I know I didn't know it was in Washington. I thought that was 4.
no, 4 is in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
Well, so Fallout 4 is in Sanctuary Hills, Massachusetts, which is close to Boston. It's a
Okay.
suburb of Boston, so near Lexington. So that's where Fallout 4 is. But we know that we have Arlington, so that's Maryland, because they have Silver Spring, and of course that's Bethesda making a joke about themselves because it also includes Bethesda, Maryland, which is where their game studios were near Washington D.C. So that's Maryland. It also has Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Virginia. Y. And so I'm gonna take a look here. Into the pit. Okay. I'm looking at you have a browser window open here. So into the pit
Yes.
is Pittsburgh,
So
Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, yes. Okay. Mothership Zeta, that's in outer space. Now here's the iffy part. Operation
it's split
Anchorage.
over the river. Oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah, Potomac River separates Virginia from Maryland, and
Gotcha.
Washington's
I
near the
see.
river.
Mm.
So now Operation Anchorage is a DLC, but it's a virtual reality simulation. So would you want to say that's yes on Alaska? It's a simulation
Uh,
battle in Alaska.
oh man.
I'll just say
I don't know.
virtual.
I don't know if I would agree to that.
Asterisk. How about asterisk? Because it's
Yeah,
not written in Alaska. You're in a computer program.
sure.
Now, Fallout Tactics, it's semi-canon, but we're going to look up where Fallout Tactics is real quick. I'll get a window open here. I believe it's Chicago, but I'm going to check because I haven't really played it. Since GOG has it, I might actually try it.
Oh, it's in Chicago. Oh, that's gotta be a rough game.
It is rough in the game because you've got these various because in Fallout Tactics, let's see, Fallout Tactics locations, good. So let's see, Devil's Graveyard. So Kansas City, that's Kansas that's Kansas and Missouri. Okay, good.
Okay, so it's not Chicago. Thank goodness.
No. It is in Chicago. It's in Chicago and Quincy. Your state of Illinois is covered. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Illinois is covered. Kansas, yes.
Oh, Springfield
Iowa,
is it.
yes. Oh,
Well,
crap.
there is a Springfield, Ohio.
Right. Let's look at. I'm gonna hit Springfield here. Springfield. Which one is it? Oh, Springfield, Illinois. So okay, that's the Springfield they're talking about. So it's still in Illinois, but we have Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, and Missouri, and Cheyenne Mountain is Colorado. So yeah, we've got Colorado. How do you keep track of this? So Colorado.
It really covers a lot of the country so far.
Yeah, but it's mainly you commanding a squad for the Brotherhood of Steel, and we're going into various places in the Midwest. So Iowa, where's Iowa? I did get Iowa. Okay, Illinois. So that's quite a bit in one game. So, and I say semi-canon because it's mentioned in Fallout 3 that there was a Brotherhood break-off point, but we just don't know if it's exactly the same way the events happened here. I'm curious about Newton. Where's that? Newton and okay, Newton. Oh, so Newton is a town made in Illinois. Oh, Newton, Kansas. Real world town of the same location. Okay, so that's still Kansas. Okay. So I think we've got Fallout Tactics. That's a beast. Oh, go Fallout 4 locations. Let's try because I know the DLCs go elsewhere. I think wow. Fallout 4 locations. Okay. So there's Boston, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Charlestown, Boston. Okay. Okay, Far Harbor is Maine. So we cover Massachusetts and Maine.
That's a ways.
Yeah. And Maine. I want to find out where the Nuclear World theme park is.
In 3, correct?
In 4.
4, sorry.
Oh, somehow I accidentally deleted the. I'll add another column here. Maine. So Maine, yes. So where is Nuclear World? That's my question. Nuclear World. Oh, it's that's still
Boston.
in Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's still in Boston.
So basically,
West of Boston.
they put it in the place of Six Flags New England. So Bethesda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's about it. Let me see the other one. Bar Harbor. No, I think we got it. So now we're going to go to Fallout New Vegas. I know that's not the order of happening, but New Vegas has a little bit more different location, more diverse locations, I think. Fallout New Vegas locations. Ooh. So.
Wow,
So
545 named locations.
Yeah. New Vegas is crazy. Um, maybe you'll see it someday, maybe not. We'll see. So Big MT.
Hmm.
I'm not sure where the Big MT is. Where is Big MT? Let's see. I suspect it's maybe. Okay. Big MT located where? Northern California. Okay. Why did you know? I guess it's hidden from you in Fallout 1 or something. Or is it? Okay. So Northern. Somehow it's hidden from everyone. Great.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Well, I did find that the Black Mountains are actually the Mojave. That's the
right.
Mojave Desert. So I don't know how far north that is in California compared to Fallout 1.
One of my thoughts is that maybe they built Big MT. It's a fictional place. Maybe they put it in the Sierra Nevada mountains to hide it. Maybe
Potentially. Let's see.
the divide. I'm not sure where the divide is, but we obviously know. Well, we'll just go into. We know that. Uh,
Oh, it's like literally just northeast of Fallout 1.
yeah. So the divide's also in California. That makes it a
Oh
little
wait,
easy.
no, hold on. Am I
Now,
wrong? Where's
I'm going to put it in Utah because we know Zion National Park is Utah. That's easy.
what I need to find is a better map of all of this. Ah, okay. So, no, it's actually it's east. It's east of Fallout 1 at the very least.
So basically, you walked past the Big MT without realizing it. Wow.
Pretty much, yeah.
Zion Canyon. Well, I already been there. The Villa. Okay. Sierra Madre Casino. Let's find out where that is. I believe it's in Arizona, but we'll find. We'll make sure. I'll make sure I figured that one out. Sierra Madre. I have to look it up. So Sierra Madre is a fun DLC for New Vegas where you're trying to steal from a casino. You know, Ocean's
Mm,
11, and you've got like it's crazy because you have all these things like you have bomb collars, um, various types of like shotgun and mine traps all over the place. And you
hmm.
have to make sure your teammates don't set off the traps and die because if they do, you die too.
Yeah, that was one of the more annoying things that kept happening all the time in that game is they just walk into traps constantly.
Okay, east of the Mojave in Arizona. So we got Arizona. That's good.
Wow.
And one of the big things I would like to wonder is these Romans with guns called Caesar's Legion. I wonder how far they go. Like, and you can, and we'll talk about that near the end because I'm wondering if they could do Fallout in Texas, like Fallout 5 in Texas,
Okay.
maybe.
I think it'd be interesting to see what happened to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, me too. It would be. So Fallout 76. I don't like it, but we'll see what locations are in there. I know it's West Virginia is the main part.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna look up. Let's look up Fallout 76 locations. 'Cause that should finish it up. Fallout 76, West Virginia. Lewisburg. Okay. So I don't know. I think we're
Oh,
let's
wow.
see, look
Okay.
at our time. Yes, this is Fallout Online multiplayer.
Yeah, the large section of Virginia,
Virginia
West
and West
Virginia.
Virginia. Yeah, I mean, I've been to parts of West Virginia, Martinsburg, but I don't think it's here. Lewisburg. Location, West Virginia. Atlantic City. Let's see. Do they have it? Atlantic City? Because that would be New Jersey. Okay, so Atlantic City. So New Jersey is in there. I'll cross that off. Great. New Jersey.
As far west as Point Pleasant. Interesting. I heard 76 was just atrocious.
Modified and updated quite a bit. Now it has high on. Now it had a surge recently with the game with the show release, but
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
but
Excuse me.
otherwise the release was an embarrassment. It's not how you should release a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. Although to me, it watching that footage from that is not as bad as the Diablo Immortal Mountain of Cringe. Like, do you have a phone?
Oh, that phone comment was
It
so
was
stupid. Like if that wasn't like the most damning thing about how bad everything is going over at Blizzard, like the direction they were going, that was it.
I mean, it's like they don't know what you say at a presentation. You don't exactly say that. You don't ask your customer if they have a phone or not. You say, okay, not at the moment, but we may have projects that will be for PC later. Like put a little hint about Diablo 4. I don't play Diablo 4, but that would have been a better response right there. Okay, it's okay. So I think we've got it. So New Jersey and there. So it looks like we've got it. So let's see how many states are covered. Starting with so Alaska asterisk, Arizona yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So not quite half, but so far quite a few.
Yeah, about a quarter,
Yeah,
a little over.
but yeah. So
That's still a lot of places to go to, which is really interesting.
I mean, the maps are huge, and that's part of why I was thinking of having a state with more land area like Texas be
Mm-hmm.
in the next Fallout. I mean, so we're going to go on to the next one about question and answer. It should be a little fun.
Sure.
Talk more about how we are enjoying our time as veterans of Fallout. So, what would you like to know about the game series, like later ones? Got a question I can ask you? You can ask me.
Hmm. Um. So with how serious the main tone is, how in the first one, how sharp is the drop off from serious to
Goofy.
almost self parody in the
Okay,
later titles?
it happens bit by bit. I mean, so in the second one, they decided for Fallout 2 as the sequel, they decided, okay, we can't exactly beat the type of horror tone that the Master had. So instead, we're going to create a main villain that is a walking juggernaut that you seemingly cannot hurt or kill until you're near the end of the game. His name is Frank Horgan. They used the name from Clint Eastwood's character from the film In the Line of Fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's a giant. Basically, he's a special exception as a mutant in a giant power armor suit that's 15 feet tall.
Oh,
So basically, he's a walking tank that will easily kill you unless you have everything to throw at him. So they took away the whole idea of the hidden mastermind, like they had in the original Fallout with the master, and they decided, okay, we'll build this huge giant brute, like a D&D dragon, to be your enemy this time. And the other thing is too, it's a different producer. So Chris Avellone, who you probably remember from Knights of the Republic 2, he also was the person who took over in Fallout 2 after Timothy Kane. He also had a big role in Fallout New Vegas. Chris Avellone, anyways. But no, so that's what they did. Chris Avellone did apologize for because he felt he put too many jokes in Fallout 2 compared to the original. He did everything from a Monty Python joke. Then there's also, you had the growth of Shady Sands into a newer California Republic, or NCR, which is what you start seeing as a young NCR in Fallout 2. And
yeah, because Shady Sands is supposed to, unlike my ending, is supposed to like turn into like the new metropolis of sorts, right?
yes, it should. That's what they go with in Fallout 2. But Fallout 2 does still have a degree of difficulty to it in terms of getting your skills up, but it has a larger world, more locations than the first one did. Quite a bit more. Fallout 2 also includes new locations. Like you had Los Angeles in the original Fallout, so you have San Francisco in Fallout 2. You have Redding, California, and you start meeting mutants who can be allies with you instead of enemies, like Marcus, voiced by Michael Dorn. Actually, Michael Dorn, who plays Worf in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, I recognize him.
He voices both Frank Horgan and Marcus.
Nice. Must have been a dream come true to work with him.
Yeah, it must have. It must have. And also, there's just so many more side quests. One of my rather things I'm not so proud of is I got hired by the mafia to eliminate the inventor of a new drug called Jet. So you've probably heard of Jet before because they retconned it in Fallout 3 and beyond. But before that, it was invented only in Fallout 2 by this 17-year-old kid who's just really psychotic. I killed him for the mafia in that one because I was just like, I don't want this kid making any more of this drug, so I ended him. But even if you don't, there's still the possibility that he gets killed anyways by one of the people he sold drugs to.
Oh, great.
So I like that little bit of comeuppance. Even though I was working for the mafia, who were only mad because the Don's son died from an overdose of Jet.
I could see why they want to get rid of him.
Yeah, I was slightly surprised that it was a 17-year-old who invented the drug, but yeah. Fallout 1 and 2 are just they were tough. They were a niche at the time because of the drug uses you can do in the games, get addicted, the prostitutes and the other and possibly killing children as collateral damage.
As you do.
Yeah, as you do in Fallout. So then when you go to Fallout 3, you can't hurt kids. The only way you could potentially kill him is if you blow up an entire city with the kids presumably in it.
Gotcha.
But
and even then, because it's a modern Bethesda game, they'd probably still walk out and be like, "Ow, daddy."
well, you just don't see them, so you presume they're dead if you blow up the nuke. But sadly, the only one who survives is a shopkeeper who's a ghoul now. Don't ask how she didn't get vaporized by the blast.
Right.
But no, there's also the other thing that annoys me a little bit is how much Bethesda like apes off the nuke the fridge from Indiana Jones.
Mhm.
Like they do it in Fallout 4, where somehow a kid became a ghoul. He was in a fridge. The fridge got launched out of his house. Then he's there 200 years after the nuke, and he's okay. Like in the original Fallout, ghouls die if they don't get water or eat anything. So it's like, and that's not even going to the point where his parents didn't try to search in a radius, because they're also ghouls too. They didn't try to search in a radius for where the fridge went flying to. I don't know.
God, it's so weird. I'm just like going through all the information in my head that's conflicting because obviously, the ghouls are supposed to live normal, like relatively normal lives, and then you get to the
They tried
show
to.
and
Oh yeah,
they just do whatever they want with them, and it's just like, God, I hate this.
Well, they got that from a joke in Coffin called Willie the Ghoul. He's buried in a
Okay.
coffin, but the thing about him, because you notice how they put the tube to give life support to Cooper in the series.
Yeah.
They had a. I don't even want to know how you handle an IV to somebody like through the dirt and into the coffin. Like really, okay, that's weird. But so there's a ghoul named Willie in Fallout 2. He's buried in a coffin. But the thing is, it probably isn't that long since he was buried because a person says that a gang of guys buried a ghoul there. So somebody saw it happen. It's not like it can't have been a year ago.
Hmm.
I mean, the person said there's a person there who's a witness that some ghoul got buried over there. So it's like maybe days, okay? Maybe days since it happened. I mean, you've got an eyewitness there, so I'm just saying it's probably days since he was buried. Then you can dig him up and you get experience for it. But it doesn't seem that he was buried as long as Cooper presumably was. But I don't know.
Yeah, because Cooper's this like semi-legendary sort of character who's been around for a good few years in like the lives of the people there, because like there's the one guy who became the mayor of that town and he knew who Cooper was.
Right, and not only that, but they did nuke the fridge again in the series with Maximus, where
Oh, did they?
somehow he's
Oh, yeah,
used the
yeah, that's
fridge,
right.
but there was a hole in the back of the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. But
Yeah, you're good.
the first time they did the nuke the fridge joke was that they made it so that they said, "Ha, Indiana Jones didn't really survive the nuke." So there's dead Indiana Jones in Fallout New Vegas if you use the Wild Wasteland Park. So you see dead
Nice.
Indiana Jones skeleton in the fridge.
As it should be.
Yeah. Uh, but no, so there was from up to Fallout 3, it was okay. I'll just say it. I mean, it's the plot is a little restricting because it's you going after what your father was doing. I mean,
Hmm.
in the first two, it's like your tribe or your vault, but now it's just like your father's working on some kind of science experiment. Like, what was it? So that is okay. And the DLCs make up for some of the shortcomings in Fallout 3 that the main story has. So at the
Hmm.
very least, you can go to do a little mystery on Point Lookout, go do a virtual reality simulator of the war in Alaska with the Chinese. And you can also go to Pittsburgh and do a quest there. So the DLCs, I feel in Fallout 3 somewhat make up for the shortcomings of the main plots in Washington, D.C. I'm also disappointed that they bring the Enclave back because, given how the Enclave show up in Fallout 2 as a remnant of the United States with their own president and Congress in a bunker, I just felt the Enclave was a good concept, and they kind of ruined them and make them more of a joke by having them show up in other Fallout games after the second one. New Vegas at least says that that they don't really have an Enclave anymore officially. You have veterans of the Enclave because this is 40 years later in Las Vegas, so the most. But Fallout 2,
It's that far separated from 3. New Vegas
Fallout
is 40 years in the future.
New Vegas is 4 years after Fallout 3, but it's over in Nevada.
Gotcha.
Fallout 2 is almost 40 years. It's 2244, and Fallout 3 is 2277, or 200 years after the nukes. But Fallout 4 goes really far into the joke phase, and unlike Fallout 3, where you have to do things to earn the power armor like the previous 2 Fallout games, in Fallout 4 you get power armor handed to you in the first half hour of the game.
Oh, really?
Yes, and a
That's
minigun.
lame.
It is, and it's also lame because it's not power armor is less unique. Like, you even have raiders with power armor, and of course you also have raiders with firing Fat Man mini nuke launchers. You get the Fat Man in Fallout 3 originally. So it's just like, it feels like they've streamlined it to the point where they aren't sure what to do with Fallout at this point. I mean, Fallout 4, in the previous Fallout games, I was glad to finally get the power armors. You probably were when you did the quest for the Brotherhood of Steel. In Fallout 4, it's like I already have it, so I ended up barely using any power armor at all in the game, just walking around with a leather jacket and a shotgun most of the time.
Okay.
Fallout 4 also has like structure building, which to me it kind of takes away from your role as an intervention and more of a hands-on builder. I mean, you did have building custom items in Fallout 3 and New Vegas before that, but you're building houses. I don't know.
There was a customer who at my old job, the gaming arena. He used to play Fallout 4 like religiously. I remember him building entire outposts and everything with it.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fun. The other issue I have, and for a lot of people, is that Fallout 4 just has crashing issues or issues where the graphics are messed up on the screen, and the next generation update made your crashes worse. So I'm glad I used the GOG version of that, but overall, most of what I enjoy about 4 is in the DLCs, and that's just imbalanced. I mean, I enjoy going up to Maine in the Far Harbor, or just maybe some early quests where I intentionally just don't bring my best weapons with me, so I'm not so overpowered. I mean, I know I'm not going to lie; it sold very well. It's like the highest selling unit of a Fallout game, but tonally, I feel it's really streamlined, similar to how BioShock Infinite is to the original BioShock.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's also probably the one that most people would recognize as like Fallout from outside of the Fallout fandom.
Right. I mean,
Because
it's not.
If Fallout 1 was the game and they made a TV show based on Fallout, ignoring like the obvious like tonal difference, if people were like, yeah, I'm gonna start with the first one, I bet most people would never have gotten into Fallout.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very niche type of horror in the first game. It's literally a horror game, with the master and so on. But I mean, with the stuff they show in the series, it's like I don't think the master would be that far of a stretch. Just as someone becoming a super mutant from the slime virus, or forced evolutionary virus, FEV.
yeah, going through, I feel like if the show were to have tackled the master, you wouldn't recognize it as such. You know, having the three different voices and between the different emotions and his overall plan and the way because like as you get down further and further into the underground of the citadel, since I warped in and ran the hell out. I didn't get to really see or understand whatever all of those mutant things were that weren't just the super mutants. It's like there's a lot of almost cosmic, like eldritch kind of horror down there, which is very interesting. And the show just does not handle any of that right, especially like because that was in the that damn salamander episode where they go to the vault
Yeah.
and everyone's mutants. And it's just like, well, you had a mystery, you had some legitimate horror in this show, and then you just threw it all the way for a joke.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also they did it. It's obviously a homage to the original Fallout when they said the Vault 33 water chip has problems. Then they didn't follow up on it. Like, why? I feel like it feels like there were writers on a different planet between episodes.
I think that's how most of the writing is nowadays. I think that's the common like tactic, is like just hiring as many writers as possible because you can get more writers for cheaper than you can one writer that does the whole thing,
Yeah. I mean, or at
which
least
is
there should
not
be,
good.
at the very least, there should be some sharing of the script, sharing of notes, so that you know what's going on. I mean, I did a Castlevania fan thing, and me and myself and Jeremy, we emailed
Mhm.
each other and said, okay, this is what the scripted dialogue of the next one is, so that I knew and he knew what has been covered and what's going to come next.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
it's a shame. I'm hoping that Fallout 2 is better than the first one, and
um, it's
I do
different,
concern myself with the rest of them when
and
I eventually do get around to them.
it's pretty brutal. But I do feel that was that they made the right choice in terms of the new villain for two. In part because the Enclave is just showing you, like a insular society that sees itself as a free country, but its insularity has it to the point where it kind of contradicts. Even though they think they're the succession to the United States after the nukes, they're insular, living in vaults all the time makes them is how would I put it? It makes them kind of crazy,
Hmm.
radical in their beliefs, even with a president and Congress in the enclave.
I'm sure a lot of people in the Enclave have to go insane because of just how bad the situation is in Fallout 2 by that point. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I'm not going to say too much, but they decided, okay, we're not going to try to one up the master in Fallout 2, so
Hmm.
we'll just make a new villain, and it's that connection. And that's where my disappointment is after Fallout 2 is that, okay, Fallout 2 tried to just make a new villain and make that villain have a different kind of strength than the previous one did. And now we're stuck having the Enclave again in Fallout 3 and other Fallout games, and it's a very similar role to what they had before. So it becomes somewhat redundant.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, the Enclave is one of my disappointments, but I will say that I do feel that Fallout 2 is a good sequel out of the game sequels they made.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I'm
Hmm.
gonna. So this is what's coming up. because next week is Thanksgiving. I'll have this premiere instead. So Volume 1, 3 episodes of whatever happened to Halo, all showing up. You have Order of Ecclesia coming up tomorrow, and I have Symphony of the Night later today. But other than that, it should be pretty
Neat.
good.
Cool.
So glad you to drop by. Congratulations on being one of the newer veterans of Fallout.
Thank you.
And I'll see you after Thanksgiving for whatever happened to Halo 3.
Yep, and I will. The Rings of Power episode was there's too much in too short a time to be able to get it out, so I might have just an odd discussion video that I'm going to whip up here as soon as I can, hopefully for tomorrow. Otherwise, I will at least have a stream for Ecclesia tomorrow.
And when in doubt, when you have a long video that you can't complete too soon, you can always do a short. That's what I've been doing because I realized, I might as well be ahead of the hype for Castlevania 3D, and that'll be a subject next time. But I'm going to start doing secrets from Curse of Darkness, Lament of Innocence, CV64,
Neat.
so that
Cool.
when it does get remastered, people have videos about the secrets from it. So that's my goal for next year.
Cool.
All right. So everyone, hope you have a wonderful day. Premiere coming next week, and tune in on Thursdays at 11 for whatever happened to the game.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.
All right.